When Father created Adam and Eve, they had the ability to live forever, as long as they had access to the tree of life. They lost their access because they sinned. And Father said when he kicked them out of the Garden of Eden, it was so that they wouldn't eat of this tree of life and live forever. He could have just destroyed the tree, but he didn't. He left it for us. In Hebrew, the tree of life is Etz Ha-Chaim, which literally means tree of the living. YASHUA said, "Our God is God of the living." And as you are about to see, if you are among the living, Father is saving this tree for you. We're almost at the part of Enoch's journeys where he comes across this tree of the living. And we're going to pick up in chapter 23, verse 1. From thence I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth. And I saw a burning fire, which ran without resting, and paused not from its course, day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, What is this which rests not? Then Ruel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me, and said unto me, This course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. In other translations, you'll see the word persecutes translated as pursues. So as we've talked about before in this series, a lot of times when you see the word fire, whether it's in Enoch or it's in the Bible, it's talking about angels, and sometimes angels appear as fiery lights, like lights that are continuously moving the way fire does. So this could be speaking of an angel which has the task of making sure that the luminaries, the bodies of heaven, are following the assigned movements that they're supposed to be making. Chapter 24. And from thence I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it, and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing, each from the other, and the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior, 3 towards the east, 1 founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, 1 upon the other, and deep, rough ravines, no one of which joined with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. There is only one mountain on earth which is a throne, and that is Mount Zion. Psalm 2, verse 6 says, I have set my king on Zion, my holy mountain. In the future, Father is going to set apart Mount Zion so that YASHUA can reign there as King of Kings. So what I think we're reading here is Enoch's account of him seeing the future Mount Zion that is yet to come. We recently did a video on the future of Jerusalem and all the prophecies about what's going to happen to Jerusalem and to the land of Israel when YASHUA returns. And part of those prophecies is that the entire land from Geba to Rimmon is going to be turned into a plain, and Mount Zion is going to be raised up in the midst of that plain and made higher than all of the mountains. There are massive land movements that we can expect at the end of days, including the greatest earthquake of all time that's talked about in Revelation. So I expect that in those days, once the land is transformed for YASHUA's reign, for his throne to be set up, that at that time we will see the 3 mountains to the east and the 3 mountains to the south that Enoch is talking about here. So in the midst of those mountains, there is the 7th mountain, and that's the one with the seat resembling a throne. And Enoch says fragrant trees encircled the throne, meaning there are fragrant trees around this mountain. Verse 4, and amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelt, neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was their leader. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, this high mountain, which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. So we are indeed looking at the future Mount Zion here. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all, and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Etz ha-Chaim, the tree of the living, will be given to the righteous and the holy. If he is your God, then you are part of the Chaim, you're part of the living, and this is your tree, and Father wants you to have it. The whole purpose of Yeshua's work was to make it so that we could live forever, so we could have eternal life. We see that all throughout the New Testament, and we also see it in the Hebrew word for life itself, which is the root word of Chaim. So in Hebrew, life is Chay. The letters are Chet and Yod. The letter Het in the original Hebrew alphabet is a picture of a wall. And the same way that once you reach a wall, you've hit the end of something, the letter Chet is used in Hebrew words to mean end. The letter Yod is a picture of the arm, and we see this letter used in Hebrew words very often to mean work, as you use your arm to work and to do things. So this word Chay, life, is a picture of the end result of Yeshua's work. Once the people that he has chosen are given eternal life, then his work is accomplished. So part of that is going to be, we're going to get to eat from this tree, from Etz HaChaim. It's going to be given to us. Verse 5, its fruit shall be for food to the elect. That word elect just means chosen. So if you belong to Yeshua, if you follow him and you're his, you are the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. In some translations, instead of to the temple, it says it's going to be transplanted by the house. But in any case, it's going to end up in the holy place, which in those days is the entirety of Mount Zion. All of Mount Zion is his holy mountain. There are a couple of verses in the book of Revelation that talk about the tree of life and that match what we're reading here in the book of Enoch, about us getting access to it when Yeshua returns. And one of those verses is Revelation chapter 2, verse 7, where Yeshua says, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Revelation 22, verse 14 says, blessed are those who wash their robes, so that they may have the right to the tree of life, and that they may enter the city by the gates. So how do you wash your robes? In Revelation 7, it tells you that our robes are washed and made white in the blood of the Lamb. YASHUA is our righteousness. So we're not going to be able to eat from this tree based on any good deed that we have done. It's going to be because of what he did. And one thing to note here is that Father doesn't change. He made it so that Adam and Eve lost their access to eternal life because they sinned. So he's not going to allow people who sin to eat from the tree of eternal life in Millennium. This tree is going to be reserved for those who don't sin. And who are those people? We learned about that in Enoch chapter 5, where he tells us of a huge blessing that is coming for all of those in YASHUA who make it into Millennium. And that is that he's going to make it so that we no longer sin or transgress. It's been a little while since we've looked at chapter 5, so I'm going to read that part to you again so you can be sure and have peace on this subject. In verse 7 of chapter 5, it says, "But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life, and their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life." So that is a humongous blessing for us that awaits us in Millennium. It's part of our inheritance that YASHUA is coming to give us. Getting back to chapter 25 about the tree of the living, verse 6 says, "Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived, and in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then blessed I, the God of glory, the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give to them." So Enoch ends this part of his journeys praising the Lord because of what the Lord is going to give to his children. And one thing to remember is that Enoch, before he saw this, he saw visions of the complete and utter destruction of the earth. So he saw the flood happening before the flood happened. And it wasn't just random people that were going to be destroyed and washed away and killed in the flood. Those were Enoch's descendants. So Enoch had to see the unfortunate destiny of his offspring, except for Noah and Noah's 3 sons, who would be saved. But Enoch had other kids and other grandkids. So him seeing this tree of life and this promise of God, it's beautiful for us. And I'm sure that it was beautiful for Enoch because he got to see that of the ones who made it through the flood, there's still going to be even more descendants down the line who one day will have everything restored to them, back to the days when there was a tree of the living in the paradise of God. So those days were not lost. The hope is not lost. The time is coming when there will be no more sorrow, no more calamity. All of this mess that Enoch saw created by man sinning and the angels coming down and bringing all of this lawless knowledge, it would all come to an end, and things would be restored. So a beautiful message for Enoch and a beautiful message for us. We are literally one day soon going back to the good old days. And I know what I'm waiting for, out past the world. Good news from you. And oh, we are like men of old, waiting for history